One of the most common behavioural issues that we see is jumping up on guests and dogs' owners when they come home or when anybody comes into the house. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how to stop jumping. We're going to be meeting Caleb with his dog, Quarren.
My name is Caleb Hammer, and this is my dog, Quarren. He's 3 years old, and he is a half Australian Shepherd, half Golden Retriever. Quarren's personality is that he is all love, but all energy and complete insanity. Quarren is pretty well trained on most things, like going to his crate or staying by my side when he's at the park. But the one thing he's not very great about is when guests come in and he jumps all over them because he wants to give them some loves.
So let's go ahead and meet Quarren. As you can see, he's a super friendly and excitable boy, but also very jumpy when I come in. With behaviours like this, it's always down to personal preference. Some people love their dogs jumping up, but for others it can cause serious injury, or if there are older people coming in the home or there's young children, it can be quite dangerous. So let's go ahead and teach Quarren not to jump.
So with Quarren, the easiest thing to do with jumping up is to basically create a routine where the same thing happens every single time you come in the house. So rather than him thinking like, this is super exciting and kind of taking things into his own hands, if we teach him a pattern that repeats every single time you come in or a guest comes in, it's going to make it predictable. So rather than him just figuring out what he wants to do and it being super stimulating and exciting, because he's going to predict it, it's going to lower that sort of excitement, anxiety, but also it's going to teach him to do something different rather than just jumping up every time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. The first thing I like to do when teaching them not to jump up is to show them that the rewards come away from the front door. So all I'm doing is walking in with a handful of treats and I'm immediately throwing food away from me as far as I can into the room, just to get him to keep all 4 feet on the floor and to show him that the good things come from further away from me. After I've done a few repetitions of this, I'm then going to ask him to sit as he comes back to me. This just allows me to reinforce an alternate behaviour. This is much more effective than punishing them or telling them off for the jumping. I'm going to keep repeating this, and then after a while I'm going to wait and see if he offers up the sit himself, and then I'm going to reward him for making the right choice and choosing not to jump up and sitting instead. And now that he's getting the hang of it, let's hand over to Caleb to give it a practice.
Do you want to give it a go?
Let's do it.
Cool. So immediately start throwing them away. There you go. And keep repeating this. As he comes back to you, throw it away. And try and throw it all the way over there, so it's like going back behind you. And again. And then as he starts coming back, start marking with a yes. So when he gets to about the rug line, yeah, and then throw it. And then now that he's done that a few times, as he walks over to you, just nice and calm, sit.
Sit.
And then yes.
Good job.
There you go. And then keep repeating that now. So as he comes back to you, sit.
Sit. Sit. Good
There you
job.
go. And just try and say sit once, because if you keep repeating it, he's going to learn that your voice is just
Sit.
white noise. There you go.
Good job. He's a little blind.
And again.
Sit.
And then now let's wait and see what he does, because he's done that a few times. There's a good chance that he's going to come over and automatically sit. There we go. And now you can do
Good
the same.
job.
Perfect. So another really good exercise to do, especially when dogs are jumpy and excitable, is teaching them to come in and out of that excitement when you get there. So because everybody obviously wants to pet their dog, you don't want to not pet him when you come in. So what we're going to practice is giving him a few strokes on the side so that he's coming around, and you want to make sure that the whole time you're petting him, all 4 feet are on the floor. So almost like this. And then what we're going to do is after a couple of pets, we're going to stop, sit, yes, and then treat. And that'll just make sure that that pet doesn't super rile him up. And I also like to put the food down on the floor so that, again, he's getting that reinforcement down there rather than up here. Okay. So should we give that a go? Do you want to try it? So do you want to go back out and come back in and try that? So go into your throwing treats to start with.
Good boy.
And then because we've done it a couple of times, we can go straight into the sit. There you go. Cool. And then just call him over for a stroke.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Good boy.
And then sit.
Sit.
There you go.
Good boy.
And then you can pet him again.
Come here. Where'd you go? There you go. Get it down.
And
Sit.
then
Sit. Good boy.
Nice. So now we'll have a look at what happens when you have guests around. So the most important thing with any training plan is making sure you have a backup. So I always like to do this exercise with a leash on, just because if you let him free and he jumps, that's always going to be reinforcing, so it's going to self-reward. Obviously, it's easy for you to do a lot of treating when you're coming in. You can't always rely on guests to do that. So whenever it's a guest coming in, you want to take the responsibility. You want to be in control of him. So what we'll do is when we have our guest come in, we'll have him on the leash and we'll practice an alternative behaviour. So either a sit. You could also do a go to bed so that he's on his bed when people come in, but because he's super friendly and you don't really have to worry about him greeting people, I would probably just do a sit, a couple times reinforce, then let him go over and say hi, and we'll do the same exercise with your guest coming in so they can pet him, but instead of them treating him, we'll call him back and give him the treat so that he's always coming back to you rather than relying on the guest.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's have our guest come in. I'll bring him back over here. And I'll show you how it looks. This way. Good boy. Sit. Okay, Mads, do you want to come in? This way. Yes. So I'm just going to make it really nice and easy. Yes. And I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to feed him a couple times. Corin. Yes. Sit. Yes. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to treat down to the floor, and then each time I'm going to get a little bit closer. Sit. Yes. Yes. And then I'm just going to cue say hi. So when I say hi, I'm going to get you to call him over, pet him the same way that we did, and then after a couple of pets, I'm going to call him back. So I'm going to get him over here first. Corin. Sit. Yes, good boy. Okay, say hi. So stroke him on the side. Corin. Sit. Yes. And I'm going to wait and see if he offers the sit again. If he doesn't do it after a few seconds, I'm going to help him out. Sit. Yes. Good boy. And then I'm going to do say hi. You can call him. A couple pets. Good job. Okay. Good boy. So now that we're getting some traction with him not jumping, it's really important that you practice that every time someone comes in and when you come in as well, because even just letting him jump up once could undo everything you've just done. So every time someone comes in, you want to be really consistent and show him this is exactly what we do when people come in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what training videos you'd like to see next.